for me to have a few minutes with you just to get an idea of how this experience was for you.
Yes, please.
I know that you've been working really hard. So this is more of just, you relaxing and looking back. Kind of from the perspective of a practitioner and a student of coaching. I'm very keen as you look back to this conversation. How was this experience to slip into the client's seat?
No, I know. You really can't expect a coaching conversation, no? Like you don't know what questions will be asked at all. I found it very helpful that um, the coach didn't dwell on the past, what was to look back from, but focused on what is important to me now and what I want to happen. I think that was very crucial in me, I guess, being creative and going deep. Um, yeah.
Beautiful. So there's two things here that really stood out for me from what you said. One is that element of surprise, as in you
Mhm.
cannot expect what a coaching conversation will bring forth.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think that is a signature of mastery, right? When there is no formulated process or formulated question that you can expect. Would you like to share with us a little bit about what does that open up for you as a client?
I felt heard. I mean, because I see it's a surprise because I have an issue in my mind or a situation in mind that I want to, get fixed. And I thought we're going to just tackle on that. But instead, he started out with acknowledging the important things in my mind and my life. And so I felt heard. I felt seen as a client. Um, that's one. Number two, um, I felt like I was talking to somebody who has a lot of wisdom. Like, I guess when a person starts using those deep words and starts like seeing through you, you feel like, oh, what is this person seeing? And you're curious. Me as a client, I'm curious also what's the next thing he's going to ask. Because he made me think on a lot of things. Yeah.
It's really funny how you said that um, you felt you were talking to someone with a lot of wisdom. Watching the conversation between the two of you looked like, for me, that there's a lot of wisdom pouring out of you in this conversation.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm just curious, what is something that really stood out for you from what we have learned in the transformative approach
Mm.
that really sat with you or you really felt it? You said it and you say, hey, this is something I want to bring into my practice.
Oh, mm. I like the part where he clarified that he offered a lot of words to describe. Is it a goal? Is it a desire? Or is it a purpose? I think that distinguished what I felt about my topic. Um, and personally, for me, as a coach, I will not be afraid to offer, ranges of options of words probably when I couldn't find the right word myself, I think. I think that's one thing I'm gonna take away. The other would be, there were many times in the conversation I didn't feel like it was a question and answer and reflection kind of conversation. I like the part where shared about his marriage, metaphors about it, even with the father-in-law, village, etc. And I thought that was a very beautiful moment that I will also hold for myself. Um, yeah, I mean, me being able to share as a coach as well, parts of my experiences that could be helpful for my client. Like, I shouldn't be too restrictive, right, of the process. Because after you've gone from school, from academy, you'll be like, okay, need to practice this. But in real life, it's a conversation between two human beings of life. That's what a coaching session for me is.
I love that, Pat. So, you know, it looks like as we move on to, mastery level, advanced level, mastery level, the conversation becomes more fluid,
Mm,
more of a partnership, where we cannot really see where did a trend of thought start, where did it continue. And there are two things from competencies that I'm hearing here from what you said. One is about the listening. So,
mm,
through the active listening competency, the coach is able to hear these fine distinguishments in what's being said, presenting them back. And also, you mentioning you feel heard when the coach is really attentive to those differences and nuances you're sharing. The second part is about in evoking awareness, we talk about the coach being an active partner
mm.
and offering, making offerings, and also having their own voice. Um, so thank you for really highlighting those. It's almost like a distinguishment and mastery. Thank you so much. I see Ben is back, so I'm going to pass the floor back. Thank you so much,
Well,
Pat,
thank
on
you,
behalf of
thank
all of.
you. Well, thank you, Azadeh. So we're going to invite you to go into the breakout rooms, and this time round, we will not be organizing you all in the different level. We thought maybe it would be good for a change, to kind of like have a mixed group. So among in the mixed group, you can use the case study to talk. It's not talk about what happened, but you can use the case study in the breakout rooms to talk about, how is this a dialogue, or how do you see some of the learning that you have acquired in level 1, level 2, level 3 being applied in the situation. So the way it was applied is not like how you learn in a class, do this, get this, right? But you can see the bridge towards an applied knowledge and not just a knowledge, right? So have fun, in the breakout rooms, and enjoy the discussion. um, Keep questions, at the main room. So if you have any questions regarding, what you observe and you are not sure what is happening there, or you have something that you like to have more clarity on what you have observed, we will do that in the main room. Is that okay? So we'll keep the breakout room more of a sharing of your thoughts, your observations, and your insights. Huh? So every room there is a faculty member. So they are being identified with the faculty name down there, so you should be able to see them. Just a moment, there's a couple of friends who have just left us. So let me reorganize the room a little bit to make sure that we have equal number in the rooms. It will just take a while for me to get it done. Sure, done. Here we go. And Pat, you have been given the right, you have